evening. Welcome everyone to the webinar offered by the Department of Civil Engineering, Amrita School of Engineering, Coimbatore. So we are glad to share that we have been in the top universities in the country in the last NIRF ranking, 2021 NIRF ranking. Welcome to the webinar on new trends and technology in the field of civil engineering. We are very glad and honored to have stalwarts in the field of civil engineering, Mr. K. Srikumar and Mr. KV Srikant sir today with us. I would like to welcome each and everyone to the webinar today. I request Nija to please introduce the speakers today. Ms. Nija, over to you.
Today we have with us the panel members Mr. K. Srikumar, retired Vice President and the subsequent advisor of Larsen & Turbo Limited India. So, he served as a part of the core group of the buildings and factories IC within the construction division. He has over 3 decades of association with L&T and have joined as a graduate engineer trainee, and he has a wide spectrum experience covering design, construction methods, planning, contracting, construction products, manufacturing and marketing, etc. And we also have Mr. KV Srikant, postgraduate civil engineer with specialization from construction engineering and management from Anna University. He has a varied experience in the field of design of temporary structures, marketing of system framework, and also in inside execution in Larsen & Turbo construction for nearly 15 years. We have with us Dr. Mini KM, Professor and Chairperson at Department of Civil Engineering, ASC Coimbatore, who will give you a brief on the civil engineering and the core specializations and what Amrita offers you. Now, I would like to welcome the moderator for today's session, Dr. Ramakrishnan R., Assistant Professor at the Department of Civil Engineering, ASC Coimbatore, to take the session forward.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nija. Thank you for introducing everyone. So we will start the session with what is civil engineering and what are the core specializations and what civil engineering at Amrita has to offer. I would like to welcome Dr. KM Mini, our professor and chairperson of the Department of Civil Engineering at Amrita School of Engineering, Coimbatore. Mini, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, Nitya and Dr. Ram for the introduction. So a very good evening and warm welcome to this webinar on new technologies and trends in civil engineering. So before going to the new trends and technology, let me give a brief introduction about civil engineering. So, civil engineering is the second oldest engineering discipline after the military engineering, and it is defined to distinguish non-military engineering from military engineering. So you can see the slide field of civil engineering. That means civil engineers involves, they will do analysis, planning, design, construction of many types of facilities, and we'll do it for the government, for the commercial buildings, for industry, and for the general public. And you can see a long list here. It starts from the high-rise office towers and factories, housing sectors, hospitals, airports, harbors, tunnels and subway systems, dams and canals, facilities for water purification and environment protection. So you can see all these are entirely different. And it's a big list what we can do in the civil engineering. Yeah. So civil engineering is very vast with a lot of specialization. So these are the major specializations with a lot of subdivisions, sub-specializations coming in each one. So I will give you a brief overview about these specializations. So coming to the structural engineering. You can see a number of structures here, which is made up of components or assemblies like beams, columns, slabs, etc. And it is the duty of the structural engineer to design these components so that it can resist all types of loads like gravity load, wind load, snow load, and earthquake forces. So structural engineers mainly focused on these concepts, analysis, design, and construction of these structural components. see both onshore, offshore structures. Okay. Now coming to the water resource engineering, it's the quantitative study of the hydrologic cycle, the distribution and circulation of water linking the Earth's atmosphere, land and oceans. So mainly the applications include the management of urban water supply, design of hydraulic structures, you can see here dams and breakwaters, irrigation structures, and the management of waterways such as erosion protection and flood protection, and environmental management such as prediction of the mixing and transport of pollutants in the surface water. You can see it here on the slide. So more recently, the concern for preserving our natural environment and meeting the needs of the developing countries has increased the importance of the water resource engineering. And coming to the next one is the environmental engineering. So the activities of an environmental engineer mainly focused on the planning, design, construction and operation of water and wastewater treatment facilities in municipalities and industries, modeling and analysis of surface water and groundwater quality, planning for the disposal and reuse of wastewater and sludges, and the collection, transport, processing, recovery and disposal of solid waste according to the accepted engineering practices. And these environmental engineers play an important role in environmental protection because engineering solutions are required to meet the standards set by the legislation. % renewables for all. Now coming to the geotechnical engineering, this is one of the major specializations. You know, most of these structures are resting on the ground or should be properly anchored to the ground. So we should have a proper knowledge about the soil properties, and geotechnical engineering deals with this. The geotechnical engineering is involved in the field and lab investigations to determine the engineering properties of the site soils and other geomaterials and their use in the problem. So this knowledge is applied in the design of foundation. You can see here retaining walls, earth dams, clay liners and geosynthetics for the slope stability and for the, in some cases, for the waste contaminant. So you can see here the lot of projects which is where civil geotechnical engineering applications are involved. Yeah, coming to the next one, there's a transportation engineering. You can see here deals with the highway, railway, then harbor engineering, tunnel engineering. So all these transportation aspects are coming here, and you know that it's always played a major role in the development of society, transportation. And it is the duty of the transportation engineer to plan, design, build, operate and maintain the transport in such a way to provide the safe, efficient and convenient movement of the people and goods. And this is a major aspect for the growth of any country. So the next one is one of the important one, that is the construction management. This is the most challenging and demanding job for a civil engineer. So that will makes the dreams to reality. So you can see here. So you know the construction involves lot of resources such as men, material, money, time, etc. And it needs lot of labor force. And you know a typical infrastructure project involves thousands of laborers. And it becomes difficult to manage the resources and that of that much intensity. So a team of architects, engineers and builders and other supporting staff such as administrators, accountants, etc. required to manage a project of that much intensity. So it requires an effective management team to ensure the quality, safety and timely completion of the project. As it involves professionals from different backgrounds, it demands a good team effort and a good project management system. So they need a leader of leaders. So that is what a project manager is, a leader of team of leaders. So the project manager makes sure that there is a smooth flow of execution by creating an environment for effective teamwork. So that's the responsibility of the project management manager. So here the scheduler, he will estimate and plan the project completion time and execution sequence. A contract manager organizes the timely delivery of the resources. And the QA and QC engineer ensures the quality of the resources and the services provided. At the end, it's a teamwork which contributes from leaders of all facets of construction to achieve a common goal. And finally, it will come as it's not I, it's we built it. So this is the major specializations in civil engineering. And now we'll see why civil engineering, why you want to go for civil engineering, isn't it? So it's a ever demanding branch of engineering. So as far as all these constructions and facilities are required to be constructed, so always there will be a demand for civil engineer. And various job specializations also. Just now we are seeing lot of specializations. Civil engineering is a very it's very vast with a lot of specializations, and based on your interest you can choose one and you can excel in that. And it's a fast growing engineering structure, and due to the steady increase in civil engineering jobs in the infrastructure project, lot of infrastructure projects are going on in our country and abroad, and in the construction industry it's a rapidly expanding one. And job satisfaction by seeing a building built from the start to finish, okay, so that satisfaction will not get in from other professions. And there are a lot of opportunities in related disciplines. The one which I want to emphasize is entrepreneur, because you don't have to work on under others, isn't it? You can be your own boss. So that is one opportunity for you in as a civil engineer. Then there are opportunities in the software, in law, in banking sector. Okay, so there's a, and many of these government sectors, they are looking for the civil engineers, and industry, private sectors, academic, research area. So it's very vast. So there's a lot of opportunities for these civil engineers. Okay, so after giving a brief overview about civil engineering, what is civil engineering, and what is the specializations in civil engineering, and why we want to go for civil engineering, just let me see briefly about our Department of Civil Engineering at Amrita School of Engineering. So you can see the Coimbatore campus here. It's a very beautiful and green campus, and this is there are 3 blocks, academic blocks, and this is the academic block 1, where we are sitting in the 2nd floor on the left side of the main entrance. And its faculty is the major part in any program, isn't it? So we have a group of young, dynamic and dedicated, highly qualified faculty. So this is the group of faculty, and more than 80% of them are having PhD. And apart from the academic, we are also actively involved in the research in the emerging areas. So that will make us to contribute more to the academics part. Okay, so you also will grow along with the industry requirements as well as the academic side. Okay, at the end of the day, you will see what will be the placement in Amrita. Okay, so these are some of the companies visited for the placement for in the last 3 years. So we have a dedicated, unique and dedicated center, that is Center for Industry Relations, CIR. So which will take care of all this placement and the extracurricular activities of the students. So they will give a training, skill training, life skill training to all the students, all the UG students, and from the 3rd semester, that is from your 2nd year itself, to facilitate them to fit for the industry and the higher studies. So the list is very vast, companies. So apart from the sectors, we have students who's pursuing their higher studies in the government as well as in the reputed universities abroad. It's about the department. Now over to Ram.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wise words and introducing our department to all the viewers. So I would like to emphasize here that job after a graduation in civil engineering is not just confined to the private sector. You can also, attend or attempt the Indian Engineering Services exams, the GATE exams, and you have tons of opportunities waiting for you in government sectors like NTPC, IOCL. I mean, all of these through your GATE or other UPSC exams, you can crack and you can get a job in any of these. So other than that, you can also opt for higher studies. Many of our students have proceeded with their post-graduation in the world-renowned universities like Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley, University of Leeds, Politecnico di Milano, Purdue University, to name a few. And even in the Indian scenario, we have our students in the universities like the Indian Institute of Science, Indian Institute of Technologies. So you can always opt for a higher studies, or you can also attempt the Indian Engineering Services or other UPSC exams, and you can opt for a government sector job, or you can go for a career in research as well. So with this, we wind up the presentation from the department side. I would like to invite Mr. Sri Kumar and Mr. Srikant sir to proceed with the further discussions. So we will discuss about, as the title says, we will discuss about the new trends in civil engineering, new trends and technology in the field of civil engineering. So we will be discussing about the current scenario of civil engineering. All of you know that we are in a pretty bad situation right now due to COVID. So how civil engineers fare in this current scenario, that we will discuss. And after that, we will move on to the topic on new trends and technologies. We will discuss about artificial intelligence, robotics, then building information modeling, BIM. All these topics will be discussed by the panel members today. So this is a picture, again, this is the picture of a Coimbatore campus clicked after a continuous 7 days rainfall in 2018. So it's a very picturesque and beautiful campus. I would like to welcome all of you to our campus and to our department. I hope to see all of you in the upcoming days in person. Thank you so much. So please, I would like to please welcome Sri Kumar sir and Srikant sir. Sir, welcome.
You heard Professor Mini giving a broad overview of civil engineering, and Dr. Ram speak with the points. So we have based our presentation on these points, and what you will hear from us is from the industry perspective. I mean, these are questions that are likely to assail every incoming student. What is the scope that I have? Where am I going if I take this program? So that is where we have structured the program, and the very first question that was framed by Dr. Ramakrishnan is current career scope of civil engineering. Now, I have to say that India is actually seeing a very dramatic change consequent to globalization, as also entry of foreign consultants and contractors, insofar as technology is concerned. So it is a kind of forced upgrade that the industry is going through. In sync with this is the fact that there is an explosion of construction activity. We are into construction of multi-story buildings, even stretching up to 90 stories, in line with what is seen in Europe and USA. Add to this is the fact that there is a plethora of infrastructure projects, including international airports, to meet the needs of a growing economy. All these projects which you will see have many path-breaking records in terms of time frame and also pioneering technology. So you will see on the slides what are the various possibilities in civil engineering and how exciting the field really is. And all these you can respectively see in the company websites or through Google, and there's a lot of information actually that is available. Of course, also referred to was the fact that this present difficulty we are going through, the pandemic, where was civil engineering? Civil engineering has really taken a dip, because you see this is activity on the field, and we can't really do a work from home. However, to the extent of work from home possibilities, we have tried to realign so that we do the work from home and then give instructions to the site. So the activity at site or the number of people, so to say, we can minimize. I mean, you're trying to live up to this situation. I hope it is not permanent, but however, this is ushering in a new parameter of efficiency which we have hitherto not seen. I'll now pass it to Srikant, who's put together a lot of wonderful projects both in India and overseas, and he will show you the details, as also many other details like robotization, artificial intelligence. And gone are the days when civil engineering was the mundane civil engineering. Today it's all very exciting, and we are really taking forth technology to the field. Yes, Srikant, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Thank you for the introductions and other things. Okay, we'll go into the presentation. We have already been asked to frame our discussions based on some of the points what Professor Ramakrishnan has given. So I'll just share my screen and commence the presentation. Yeah, the topic which was given is new trends and technology of civil engineering. Maybe as persons who want to enter into the engineering, maybe the civil engineering field, the topic of discussions for today is what are the amazing structures. We can see some of the photographs of the structures, then interesting facts as a life of a civil engineer, how it is varies between the other engineering people. The current scenario, maybe effects of COVID, how it is affecting, maybe in a brief we'll see. And from a traditional conventional site operations and other things, what are the new trends and technology which is happening in the field of civil engineering, like artificial intelligence, then 3D printing, robotics, smart buildings. And as I think Professor Mini has already told the job opportunities in various sectors. We'll also see what are the job opportunities, okay, what is the demand maybe, and what are the type of skill sets you need to, maybe once you come into the civil engineering also, you have to equip yourself so that the opportunities are so much there in various fields of civil engineering also, not only on site operations. We can see that, okay. Yeah, you can see a lot of civil engineering feats. You can see that a lot of structures you might have already seen in the websites also. You might have come across through various social media platforms also. These are all old as well as the latest amazing feats of civil engineering. We can say that Eiffel Tower or Burj Khalifa, the Statue of Unity, all these things. And you can see some of the civil engineering fields like Baha'i Temple, the Puttaparthi Hospital, then Kantirva Stadium, in different facets. I'm not saying only restricting to only the buildings part, even in infrastructures and the other parts of construction activities like airports, metros, all these things. We got a lot of amazing structures which has come up. This is basically because of maybe the civil engineering fields, we can say. So this, if you want to go into details about this, we can go into the respective websites of the companies also, and on the projects also. You will get to know about the details, how it was constructed, what are the technologies used in this. All these things you will get it from this websites itself.
To give you an idea, to supplement what Srikant is saying, see, the Baha'i Temple is a building almost 50 meters high, and it was done about 40 years back. Unique features are that there's no single straight line in the structure. It is all geometrical shapes from sphere, spheroid, and toroid. Combinations of this, that is the structure that you're seeing there in Delhi. And so far as the Statue of Unity is concerned, it is the world's tallest statue.
Yeah, you can see that this is the world's tallest statue, 182 meters. Basically, if you can see the construction activity in maybe the Statue of Unity, the internal cores or maybe the RC structures, which was done with the latest technology like a climbing form technology and other things. Once this internal core is completed, then there'll be a structural still around the maybe the statue one, and then it was bronze cladded. Okay, so this was done by L&T. Sir, anything you want to add on this, sir?
Which one?
On the Statue of Unity.
No, Statue of Unity is a kind of steel concrete framework, steel framework, and then concrete panels erected on that with pre-cut geometry. Each component was pre-cut geometry.
Okay.
It is standing besides the Narmada River dam.
Yeah. So even if you see what all we have seen in Indian construction structures, we can see that some of the even overseas structures also, like Burj Khalifa, you may be knowing about this thing. And this is the Gardens by the Bay in Singapore. And this is the Marina Bay in Singapore. This is the Flame Tower in Azerbaijan. So a lot of different shapes and structure. It's not only a straight structures and other things where architecturally, whatever the architect dreams, that has to be turned into reality by a civil engineer only, actually. Maybe based on the design he may be a design engineer, or he may be a construction engineer, or he may be a methods planning engineer, anybody. So he makes the architect's dream into reality, we can say. So one such thing, Burj Khalifa, we want to give some details about Burj Khalifa. You know, the Burj Khalifa total height is standing at around 828 meters. So it has got around 162 floors approximately. These are taken from websites. So around there are 54 elevators in that. Okay. And so much of tonnage of reinforcement, 34,000 tons of reinforcement and concrete was used for construction. And you can say that the main architects were Adrian Smith actually, and then it was the main contractor was Samsung contractor, and we can say the workforce came from a variety of maybe countries like India, Pakistan, maybe from Asian countries as well as from the West also. So Burj Khalifa, when compared, this is the maybe largest standing at present, I can say that. But if you see that they want to exceed this tower, so there is another tower. So we can see the construction of Burj Khalifa here, how it was done, the structure, because structure and it was cladded afterwards. This was using the automatic climbing technology. Maybe you can go into the details. If you go into the websites, you can get the details of how it was constructed also. There are so much of data available on the construction aspects also. So anybody who wants to maybe enter into civil engineering and other things, you can see what are the technology being used in this Burj Khalifa construction. There are other towers like I think Professor also showed in one of the slides about Burj Al Arab, which was constructed on the maybe a sea front actually. So we have to be very in the variety of engineering fields and civil engineering aspects itself, like maybe the foundation engineering, geotechnical, all these things come into play when you are going for this type of the constructions. Next is that 1 kilometer tower, what we call as a Jeddah tower. This is under construction. It's in Saudi. So at present, I think it was stopped in 2019 for some of the reasons. Maybe it is at 66th floor or something around the, say we can say around 300 odd meters or something which was completed. But it is trying to surpass, even though say initially it was perceived for 1 kilometer, but the final height is not 1.3 kilometers. So since the final figure is not given, and it is at present the construction is not going ahead because of some reasons actually, but it will surpass Burj Khalifa. So always there will be a the competition which is happening in the field of construction also. They want to surpass one another. So if you ask me in India also, maybe the tallest tower what we are having today is maybe the Palace Royal 320 meters world-renowned Lodha Tower. There are so many towers, skyscrapers going on in Mumbai, Gurgaon, and the Supernova Spire Tower in Noida. Like that, there are so many towers are going on in Mumbai as well as Gurgaon, Bangalore, Hyderabad also actually. But interesting fact is that the first maybe the tower we can say is it was done in Chennai. It was a LIC building 1959. So where it was 12 floors. At that time in India it was considered as the tallest tower. You can see now from 12 floors. Now it has gone up to the 70 floors also people are constructing now in India. And in Chennai, if you ask me, at present it is the SPR tower which has got around 45 floors. Around 172 meters is the height of the towers which is going on. So let us come to if you are going to become a civil engineer, how your life will be, maybe on the work culture ways. Many job roles you have to come across, like various sectors we have to come across. You should develop various skill sets because workforce also various you need to deal day in day out with a lot of workforce. As I think Professor told in construction engineering management, we need to level the resources and other things. In that case, if you ask me, I'll give an example. For example, when I think L&T was constructing the Delhi International Airport, there are more than 10,000 laborers were there in this site itself. It was huge actually. So we need to deal with a lot of people, and we need to have different skill sets for handling. Because if you ask me as a planning engineer, you have to deal with your client, you have to deal with your design department, you have to deal with your site activities. So you need to develop so much civil engineer and different sectors also, as there are so much of like a foundation engineering, maybe like for the design departments, all these things you got many job roles. It is not like a monotonous in your job roles when you are becoming a civil engineer. Every day is different and challenging. What it means is you won't be getting the same type of work culture you'll be having it. You need to be a very creative. For example, if you are taking up maybe the designs, whatever the architect is dreaming, that you have to make into reality in terms of designing, so that the structure should stand safely, and you should be abreast of what are the latest technology that is happening in terms of maybe the usage of softwares in the design fields. All these things you should be in a position to do that, so that you can become a creative also, and how we can make the projects maybe cost effective. What are the different types of tools you can use it for, maybe the latest tools, how you can utilize for making the projects. And I think one of the slides also professor told about a team player, because you need to daily in day as a civil engineer, you need to work with various people, maybe a project manager or a project leader, the client, the owners, the workforces who are executing the job. So you have to be a team player to get the work done in whatever the maybe the time fashion and whatever the results you have to achieve that. And as a civil engineer, yes, you got an opportunity to work across the globe also. As in Burj Khalifa also, there are a lot of Indian civil engineers who work there. So opportunities are plenty, not only in Indian construction industry. It is there in overseas also. And you don't feel like monotonous actually. It won't be, because different types of structures. Maybe once you are starting with a civil engineer, maybe in a buildings side, maybe your next project site maybe with the infrastructure, where you may be having the chance to work with metros or something, where it will be so much of interesting. Say for example, in metro job sites, it is the viaduct portion which is coming above the ground. There are portions which is coming in underground also. So there are, every job we can say it is not the same. And you may be having if you are having an opportunity to work with this, then you will have different facets of maybe the construction. You can see that. So as a civil engineer, we also should equip ourselves in the whatever the changing scenario, like from a normal buildings which was earlier to the skyscrapers, railways, and it has become a metros, then smart cities, then transportations like a flyovers, interchanges. Like that, there are so many fields of construction which is happening that which adopts latest technology also. We should be abreast of the technology and other things. So for that only we are saying that civil engineering, it is not only the old technology, as he has told that it is not only a side activity, it is that a lot of other innovations and technology which we need to see that we will be seeing in the maybe the few next slides actually. One question what professor has asked is, what is the current scenario in construction because of this pandemic, how it has affected? Yes, it has affected a lot maybe in 2020. Actually, I can say that because COVID was new to us. So what we have done is maybe we understood what is that in the first wave and other things. Then I think slowly it started to open up. Even in maybe in the first wave after I think maybe May or June 2020, most of the infrastructure projects, because infrastructure projects they opened up. Actually, government has maybe given this one whatever the lockdown it was imposed, they have freed it for some of the prestigious projects or the metro projects. So slowly with we learned the life how to live with this pandemic situations, and what are the SOP, standard operating process, we need to follow to tackle these situations. But there is a revenue drop from 13% to 20% as per the statistics what it was given there in the construction industry. Yes, there was disruptions in supply chain actually. We can say that why, because due to imposition of lockdown and other things, people cannot travel, and there was a travel ban, all these things, because these are all having a direct interface, whatever the materials and other things. The supply chain management was totally having a lot of problems in terms of COVID. Then labor shortages, people from migrant laborers, they try to move to their hometowns, and because of these situations which was very new, nobody has seen this before. And there was a cost over also happened because of this COVID. Why? Because once I have this standard SOPs and other things, people they have not built in these kind of cost in their project actually. So they need to have certain facilities to be planned to tackle these situations. And also because of this COVID situations, there is a sudden increase in the material prices, and because the demand is more and the supply was maybe the very less. So there is a in terms of time overrun is also there, and in terms of cost also towards the material it was having more. So this has really affected how to tackle this COVID situation. The people have started moving towards the digitalization, so they want to cut down the human dependence on the human interface. So let us move towards the mechanization. What all the technology available, they try to utilize that. Maybe how we can to tackle these situations. And also one good thing has happened is the health and safety augmentation of the workforce, what are happening. So they've had the SOPs, so proper PPEs, and proper health and safety hygiene systems are being done in the workplaces and as well as in the sites. So this has given a positive note as well as for the maybe the negative note also. But this was only in 2020. I can say that even the total construction industry, it has jumped from 2020. What was it was in, maybe the negative trend. Now it is going to be in the positive trend only. We can say in 2021. Because and I think slowly we are overcoming all these things. I think by end of 2023, I think we should be whatever the pandemic and other things. I think people will be in a position to come across all these hurdles, and then they will have the solutions for this. Professor, any other thing we want to discuss about the COVID and other things up to now, or we'll go to the next topic?
Yeah, we can move to the next topic, sir.
Next topic, what do you want to maybe address? Maybe we will go into the technology innovations and maybe the some briefing of the artificial intelligence and other things, robotics in the constructions, and then maybe at the then at the last, maybe what is the employees' expectations and what are the opportunities? I'll touch upon. I think Professor Mini also touched upon the opportunities on the maybe the government sectors and the private fields. Okay, then we will also just see that what all it is there. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you.
So Srikumar sir, you want to add anything, or we'll go to the next one, sir? Hello. Yeah, we'll go to the next one, the topic given to us. What are the?
I've heard.
Yeah.
More or less you've covered everything.
Yeah. What are the technology and innovations happening in the civil engineering front? There are so many things actually. We can see that concrete technology. When you see the technology, it is happening in all the fields, like the materials, the machineries, the construction methods, solutions. What you are going to give, methodologies. There are so many things which has happened, like concrete technology, maybe high strength concrete, how we can do so that we have faster completion of the projects. Then high rise technology, modularizations, precast solutions to avoid a lot of cast in situ concreting, then new materials what is available, and then digitalization in construction and modularization. So out of which we will touch upon only some few topics in this presentation. You know pretty well about the growth of internet. Okay, in 1 second, how much is people are depend on this internet, and maybe in a social platform, social working platform, or in a search engines, how much people are totally depend on internet. And in the construction field also, we actually in for our maybe the innovations and technology, and so that we'll see how we are trying to utilize this. The emerging technologies, maybe we can see we are into automation and robotics. How in construction field we can see some latest technology. What Professor asked about the 3D printing. We are not going to touch upon on metal front, lightweight concrete, recycling. We are not touching upon. And BIM modeling. What is BIM modeling? What is that? It is that. So because general perception is that civil engineering is only a site activity. So we want to clear that to the young people that yes, in civil engineering there are a lot of emerging technologies happening, which will be of quite interesting to you people also. Okay, and modularization. So this picture shows about the concrete block masonry unit where the robots are being used for doing the masonry work. So in terms of where the scarcity of labor is there, people are trying to utilize this also. And there are some, it is not only in overseas, there are some companies which are doing a prototype modeling in India also for making the plastering machines as well as the bricklaying machines also.
You don't have a video, no?
No, sir, video we are not running, sir, actually.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So general, like a conventional machineries and other things, this you people might have seen in so many construction sites or maybe in various websites and other things. You got a lot of cranes, your excavators, then for doing the finishing works, a lot of these things. This is on the machinery front. So a lot of things has happened in machinery as well as in materials also. If you say in India, for example, say this is one temporary structure which is used to construct the RC structure. So whatever you want to do it in concrete, you require this. So this you can say that all the MNCs, all the multinational former players, they are available in India for the last 10 years. So it is, this technology has already come. Actually, we can say that hardware and software. Now we are seeing that hardware, whatever the P&Ms, plant and machineries, or this kind of formwork, or this kind of rebar cutting machines and tools, these are already available with us. Maybe last 10 to 12 years, 15 years, it is available with us. So, but we'll go into the next field, as far as technology front, in terms of maybe the using the artificial intelligence, or the maybe the BIM and other things, how we are going to use that also in Indian context. So this is the construction methods. You can see so much of the machineries are already there. This has been already done. This is more than I think 17, 18 years old, what the picture shows. So these are already available in India. So we'll go to the topic, like in concreting also, that in every nook and corner you can see that ready mix plant and maybe pumping of concrete, all these things are available. So we are not going to touch upon this as a civil engineer. It is already available in India. So we'll go into the artificial intelligence in construction. So, and artificial intelligence, why AI is required? Because AI, you might have seen in other fields of engineering, people are using the AI, maybe in the manufacturing sectors and other fields, IT and other fields. But AI for construction is to design efficiently the buildings. That is how I can design. That is one concept. That is a building information modeling. We'll see in the maybe in the future slide what is BIM and how it is going to help in artificial intelligence. How we are going to take up the data and how we are going to integrate the data within various sectors. Then to cut down the cost, to reduce the cost and maybe the time overrun, what the AI, how we are going to utilize AI. That is, we might have done so many projects. Maybe the data we are not compiling and the data may be missing or due to that. What the AI will do, that is, once you compile the data and other things, so any repetitive jobs you need not do. So you can say that, okay, this, because of this hindrance, this has happened. So the prioritizing the work also, the AI will be helpful in cutting down the time schedules, as well as the costs also. It can be cut down. Once you cut down the time, automatically the cost is related to the time also, so it will automatically cutting down the cost. Then how to identify and mitigating the risk. AI will help in maybe in the safety and other aspects. For example, any incidents or the accidents which you are going to capture, and if the same thing is going to happen in the maybe the next project or something, then once this AI will help you, once you program it and capture all the data from your earlier experiences, this will mitigate your risk. The risk mitigation can be even for the cost also. Once you have this, see, for example, while quoting also, I have not taken into account these are all the things for this type of project. Say, for example, you have seen a lot of skyscrapers or the multi-storied. So maybe if I say the skyscraper starting from the foundations, maybe this type of foundations, I made an error in the earlier project. So this foundations, the cost should be like that, the actual cost. So once you capture all these data, then program it, this AI will help you in even mitigating your risk also, risk factors. Same smart construction on site to speed up delivery. That is how you are going to plan it with the help of the latest softwares and tools. And then efficient management, that is to reduce the labor shortages. How you are going to do that? Like we have seen in COVID situation also, that is because of labor shortages, the work becomes the work comes to stoppages. So in that case, can I use some robotics for managing the work? So like that, AI will also help once you have these robots. Then AI for construction solutions is basically are capturing the post-construction data on all the fronts, like a cost fronts, all the technology front, all the construction solutions fronts, all these things. Once you capture and program it, this will certainly help in delivering the project on time and with maybe the automation the cost. When you see the robots in construction, maybe people might have seen the robots in other fields of engineering. You see simple, we can say that this robot, it is doing a plastering and painting robots also available. For laying the brickwork or the block work, or lifting of heavy equipments, robots are used in construction. And maybe for where it is very difficult for you to even see this one, like a drilling of some for excavations and other things, robots will certainly will help you. And this is a simple robot. We can say that even for tying up the reinforcement bar. Some people, I think you might have seen for the construction of houses also, there is a reinforcement rod which goes into the concrete. People will manually tie it. So there are certain robots available where you can tie without the manual interface also. This will start tying the rebar, and so that you can pour the concrete. So these are all some of the pictures we have taken from the websites. So certain robots, small applications of robots are available. And I think people in India also, they started using some prototypes for doing this kind of like maybe the plastering or leveling, all these things. I think people have started using robots in a smaller way, but it will come up actually. Once you have this situation like this where human dependence you want to cut down, certainly this will have an importance, that will gain importance, I say, in future. And next one key element is the how people are using the drones also for surveying. I think there are some details from overseas construction where we can say that drones they are using most actually for the surveying as well as for the other activities also, apart from other areas of drones. If you can see in India also, we have started already using it. I think more than 5-6 years we have started using it, especially for surveying in railways and metro projects. Drones will certainly reduce the time. For example, one such thing which I have come across through the net is that people they use these drones for surveying for this Delhi-Varanasi high-speed rail. Generally, the time taken would be around 9 months or something. They completed in 1.5 months time. You can see that the great time reduction in doing the surveying. Also, very easy access for the drones because very difficult terrains or hilly terrains are very difficult for the man movement or risky man movement. So people easily can do the surveying through the drones, and they do the light dependent and ranging method also, lidar what they call as. They use the laser as well as for the GPS data, and they capture the data. For example, in this Delhi-Varanasi, what I understand is more than 2.3 lakhs data were collected and around 15,000 images were also taken, and they could be in a position to even combine it with for the CAD drawing, like computer aided designs, and as well as for the building information modeling also to get the surveying actually. So even I think at present whatever the Delhi the high speed rail project between Mumbai and Ahmedabad also going on. So this was also a lot of surveying was done with using drones actually. So this is helping in a lot of railway projects and metro projects also.
GPS coordinates are also being used for giving ground levels. Rather using the GPS, there are test tracks, racing tracks being made like that nowadays.
So you get accurate measurements actually once you use this also, and there is a tremendous savings in time also, and you can have a very excellent collaboration of data. What it is you are going to get it from this. So whatever the picture we are showing here is the Japan's largest drone manufacturer. We got some information from we are taken from a website. ACSL, I think they already put up a plant in Coimbatore. It was supposed to be in October. I think they already put up a plant. So you see there is a growing trend for usage of drone in construction industry. So they already started putting up a plant in Coimbatore. In this it will come under Make in India tag actually. That's what. Next one, what professor was interested is actually as a new technology, what we can say is the 3D printing. How we are going to print maybe a drawing or something or anything is that now the technology has come, even printing of even the houses actually. We can say that 3D printing technology. I think already I think people started using in India. See, in overseas there are a lot of maybe the houses and other things being done with 3D printing. Even in India also it has done. They started in 2017, if I'm not wrong. One company at that time they did for a 500 square feet building. So at that time they took nearly 21 days. The same company, I think they did in IIT Madras, the campus, around 600 square feet. They could complete in maybe 5 days time. That's what the data which is available. It is basically automated manufacturing. Whatever the 3D design you are going to make, you are trying to extrude the same thing. You can see that you are trying to extrude from the printing devices, and with a special concrete, we can say the concrete will be poured in layers, and certainly what the data shows is that it is 30% cheaper when compared to the conventional. One such type, even L&T also did a prototype in their Kanchipuram yard. I think it's a 2-story building, if I'm not wrong. So they've also developed a 3D printing houses as a prototype they have developed. Sir, anything you want to add in 3D printing, sir, for L&T one?
Yeah, well, see, it is 3D printing. As we saw it, it has got limitations in terms of the number of floors. But using hollow and connected lattice members, we have moved on to the second level, and now there will be attempts to make a third level, so three-storied structure. Now in the 3D printing, the weakness really is that we can't fit in reinforcement. So we are trying to do mixes with metal fiber, steel fiber, so that we are able to eliminate reinforcement but still do with the fiber. So these experiments are ongoing. So hopefully we'll come to the three-storied version also shortly. I think there was a photograph of the two-storied version, is it?
The completed photograph is not there, sir, from with me.
The two-storied is not there?
Yeah, it was done. I think L&T did the two-storied one.
Two-storied one. No, but I think it is available. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, you can go through the web about this.
Yeah, in fact, there is a publication in the Times of India itself saying L&T have done it, and so that shows a photograph of the two-story structure. Anybody who's interested can refer that.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll move on to what is BIM. Actually, we also talked about the BIM in artificial intelligence. So building information modeling is nothing but how you are going to take out the data is available, how we are going to interrelate between the departments, like maybe the construction phase or the conceptual phase or maybe the electromechanical things. All these things, it will be how we are going to do it in for a construction project, how we are going to do that. So it is basically to enhance the accuracy and reliability of the design and construction document. So how quickly you can evaluate. Maybe you can take even the bill of materials also. You can from this building information modeling. It uses maybe how you can use the computational software to evaluate the relationship, building geometry, and is there any clashes between different agencies. All these things, the conflicts with other disciplines, you can see that, because before starting of construction itself, because when you are going to do the construction, you should not end up with there are some conflicts, so we need to change something. Earlier, after whatever it comes from the design board, people start directly put into maybe the start the work actually. Then sometimes there may be some conflicts will be that between maybe the two agencies, we can say, from maybe the structural, maybe and electromechanical. So these kind of things we can take out while initial modeling itself by doing this BIM one, and it reduces the changes during construction. So we need not maybe come across the changes while constructing also, and we can take out even the material quantities also. What is the total material quantity for such type of projects? It will be useful for even the tendering also, and the energy evaluations. When we are going to see about the smart buildings, we can say that energy evaluations, we can see that whether it is maybe a green building concepts, how we can do that, and construction sequences, what should come first, how we can prioritize the sequence of construction. Those kind of things really the BIM will help actually. So it is basically not only the construction what we see, even for the post construction, for the maintenance and the future building. For example, say when you are maybe building a house, we may not have the electrical drawing with us. Actually, in the future, we want to repair, or the plumbing drawing may not be available with us. In the future, we want to repair that. It's very difficult for us to even point out where the lines are going. So it is simple like that. We are trying to catch all the data maybe before construction itself to find out where all it is available. Even for the post construction, after that also, it may be helpful for you to do future maintenance and repairs. That is how the BIM will help. So we can see that
basically to conceive the structure before building it itself, so that you get a three-dimensional view, and then after which the possibilities are enormous. You can do quantification with that, you can do building with that, you can link it up with the design, everything. He's giving you some explanations here.
Yeah, that is what. So in the design phase, how we can do the detailing, like Srikumar sir told about the bill of quantities to arrive at. Then the structural, you can do the modeling actually. Then you can do the electromechanical designs, all these things during the design phase itself. Once you do that, so whatever the architects gives that, once you do that, we can see there is no conflict of maybe the each and every departments. So then during construction phase, it is so easier for you to coordinate. And maybe even from the bill of material, you can directly go for procurement. So you can plan ahead actually for this, even construction during the construction phase, and the coordination becomes very much much easier. This is during the design and construction phase, not only for this, as you are told, even for that operation and maintenance phase also, it is so much helpful, so that you will get all the as-built drawings, all type of facilities which is available, and you can see that maybe the energy, how we can reduce, maybe utilization of whatever the resources, how we can do that, all these things, security systems, which will help you in making the working towards a smarter building concepts. Actually, we can say BIM will help. So maybe a few slides I will show about the BIM. So we can say the input to the BIM modeling is you'll get whatever you get it from the architectural design drawing, that will take out from the architectural, then it will take into the structural designing, MEP designing, electromechanical designing, and you are going to sketch up, and you see that whatever it is going to clash or not, and then everything is captured here. Actually, we can say we can generate a structural modeling also like this. Then we are going to develop whatever the architectural, from the architectural model we can see the structural model. Then the architect can also see that whatever he has visualized or whatever he has put it on the paper, whether it has come out here or not. And then like electromechanical modeling can also be done like this. Then you can see where all there are clashes are happening. Then you can do, before starting up the construction itself, you know pretty well that there is no problem, so that there won't be any stoppage in construction because of any clashes or changes actually. So that is how this kind of services will certainly help, and the people will started using this long time back itself. I think there are so many projects now it is going on in BIM. We can say that you develop a model also. You can develop, like for airports, there are so much of facilities and other things you have to plan. So you can integrate all these departments. Then you can see the really the model and in the BIM. So this is okay, how you are going to integrate each and every three, how the passenger flows. Then you can have the modeling of the terminal buildings like that. There are so many avenues where the BIM can be used, and we can before startup of the project itself, we know that okay, how it will look like. Next, we'll go into the smart building actually. Okay, what we are saying in smart building is nothing but integration of whatever these kind of services and facilities to make a building smarter. Like this building should have maybe the internet, wireless connectivity, the security system, the audio, video conferencing facilities, then energy management, then the lifts actually. All these things, how we are going to integrate in a building system so that it will become a smart building by usage of maybe the AI, artificial intelligence, by usage of see what we are going to do in smart building is we try to collect the data from these kind of devices, then and we need to channelize for whatever the user needs. For example, what the user needs, accordingly we are going to integrate the thing, and we are going to construct these smart buildings. So generally smart buildings it uses the intelligence to collect the actionable data from the user devices, So applying the AI techniques, you have some programmable devices to meet the needs actually. So generally what people are using is like to optimize the energy, how I can reduce the consumption of energies, how I can reduce the CO2 emissions, how I can utilize the resources like water and other things. So in a smart buildings, how we can do that. So these kind of things a smart building uses. So it uses maybe a lot of things from the internet, maybe combining, then artificial intelligence, then it will process whatever the data from the various equipments and devices. Then it will uses also BIM model also, like building information modeling also. It uses that, so that it integrates various facets. Then it collects whatever the residents' usage habits. So that you can develop for the next building also, how we can do this. So an example of this there are a lot of smart buildings actually happened in overseas. One such building, what I got the data is from China actually, the Bluemac building. Generally for the commercials, people are using a lot of smart building techniques. So by using this kind of smart building applications, their heating bill was zero in a year. We can say that. So no, utilizing whatever the energy available there itself, they try to construct this, and then 100% water recycling from the toilets they use. For their energy consumption was very less CO2 emission, and they've made a systems for collecting the rainwater and utilizing themselves. They erected a solar panels for making the maybe for power and other things. So like that, these kind of smart buildings, we can say that utilizes what is the user available data, and how we can give, how we can reduce, how we can cut down the cost also, it helps actually. If you ask me, maybe in India, smart buildings, there are some residences and other things where they are aiming towards the green building or the zero carbon buildings. But the commercials, we can say that even Indira Gandhi Airport, when they have assessed also, I think Delhi actually. So Delhi International Airport, I think it is more or less like we can say some around 40 to 50% is a smart building concepts are there in Delhi International Airport. That is simple. Even if you are not using the power, I think it automatically switches on. No manual interference is required for this. So these kind of things which uses in smart buildings, it is also come up in civil engineering field basically. We'll move on to the next topic. Okay, as a civil engineer, okay, I want to take up civil engineer. Okay, I've maybe studied that, maybe I equipped himself. What are the core opportunities for me in a civil engineering? One thing is that if you see the overall construction industry in India, I'm saying only in Indian parlance. So it is they are the third largest employer in India after agriculture and service sectors actually. And they contribute approximately, these are all the data taken from the websites. So 7.16% to GDP. There are more than 250 corporate sectors, firms in construction field, and around 1.2 lakhs Class A contractors, they are registered with the government bodies also. So there are so many opportunities in the field of constructions in India itself. If you see what is the need, how much is the demand for this? This is, I don't have a latest data, but as per whatever 2020 needs, we can say that there are around 40 lakhs civil engineers are required for maybe the job opportunities what is available. So, but that demand is there, but the supply is very less. Actually, we can see from the graph itself, not even 25% we are meeting actually. Okay, it is less than, I think, maybe 10% we can say. Slightly about 10% you can say. So there are huge opportunities is available. That we can say that there are certain gaps are there, and we need to equip ourselves in competency as well as to abreast of what are the latest technology and other things. So where we can see that to fill in the gaps, that is the skill sets are required. Like I think in the presentations where professor told that there is a with the industry also they are trying to link, they are trying to enhance the skill sets of the people to have the practical knowledge what the industry requires and all these things. That has to be certainly taken care. This it has been happening for the quite a few time. People have started showing interest in linking the industry and the academy. Actually, we can say that there should be academicians, government and industry. For example, it has happened in the field of workforce, I can say, because there are a lot of skills training institutes being developed by the private players like L&T or other construction companies. With the government is giving maybe the certain amount of like they do like L&T, they do like a CSR, corporate social responsibility, in opening up these kind of fields for giving training to the certain skills like carpenters, electricians, plumbers, like that. They've started opening up opened up a lot of trade training centers. So like that, even the academicians, they should have close interactions with maybe these kind of industries to impart practical training, so that what is the requirement of the industry when these people come out, like a civil engineer when I come out, what is that requirement? So all these things to be taken up by the academicians also, and there should be a proper, I can say, as an industry and academic linkage should be there, because the opportunities we can see is plenty. We have seen from Professor State presentation also, as well as we'll also show where all the opportunities are there. But only thing is, you should be smart enough to know what is the requirement from the industry.
Sir, time?
Yeah, so generally the perception is that a civil engineer is like a site engineer or supervisor. So no, but there are so much of other fields. I think already Professor has told you about other fields of civil engineering like environment. If you go into the specialization, I'm just these are all the things where you can have as a civil engineer, you can get the opportunities. One thing is that hands-on experience is what it is always good. So when you complete even the graduation, there should be some internship. Maybe the people are already doing it, but it should be in a proper and effective manner. You should go through a lot of case studies. What is happening in the world? What about the latest technology? You should know about the technology, like how people are using it, AI, how they are using, maybe how the smart building concept. So that it is not only in the site activities, you may get even your opportunities in other fields of civil engineering also. So many core sectors already people have told about ONGC, all these things. You got core sectors like infrastructures, then telecom, irrigation, urban buildings, transportation sectors like railways, roads. Already I think Professor has covered this. There are so much of opportunities available here also. And even if you take only the building solutions, what are the things like BIM, we have seen that where I can put in myself in structural, I can do it networking for the designs, interiors, or in execution phases, whether I can become a specialist like a temporary structure designer or a generalist like a civil engineer, supply chain, even for the procurement, technical knowledge is very much required. So all these things are, there are certain things like in building solutions like materials also, people are doing after sales supports, marketing of even certain building materials like a formwork or a construction materials. Like this, there are so much of opportunities in the building solution fields also. You get so much of variety of structures where you can have the opportunities like commercial buildings or sports stadium, hotels, convention centers, cement plants, automobile plants, factories or industry infrastructure. So many fields are there, certainly for civil engineers. If you want to move on only for the design fields, then you can have this design skills. You can have like in civil and structural, HVAC systems, public health, building automation systems. All these things you can develop yourself. Once you are coming out from your academics, you can maybe have this kind of skill set, so that you can have you can go into these kind of departments. When you see that even softwares are available even for the structural analysis, so much of softwares programming like a STAAD Pro, FEM for ETABs are available for structural engineering. Then geotechnical, foundation engineering, a lot of things are even we can say that are computer based, because now you people are so much interested on the computers and other things. There are so much of computer based programmings and other things which you need to come across in civil engineering field also. Or maybe the software design like architectural designs like Rivet programs or a CAD drawings or a StruCAD, like that. There is plenty of opportunities in the field of computers and this thing. Even in a planning, I can say that the Primavera software, which is being used for planning of projects, resource leveling, all these things. So it is not only the site activities, there are so much. So generally what maybe the employers they look for is, yes, you need to have the technical skill, but other skills also you should be in a position to hone yourself. I can say that maybe the communication. So once you're coming out from the academics, try to have these kind of skill sets, maybe the interpersonal skills, how you can communicate, how you can become a team player. These kind of things also people they are seeing. They're not only seeing only the technical skills, domain expertise, whatever, whether it's a designers or whether it is a construction management, they see only maybe around 20-25%. Balance and all other skills also should be in a position to hone yourself. Then there are opportunities of plenty for you. I can say that mold yourself with these kind of maybe your domain expertise as well as the skill sets, and you can become a competent civil engineering professionals. The opportunities, certainly we can say that so much we have seen. The opportunities are plenty, and I can say that maybe myself and Mr. Shikmar also say we are very proud to be a civil engineer. Okay, thank you so much. Maybe you can see any questions are there we can ask. So, Professor, anything you want to discuss further on this?
No, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for your wise words. It was very comprehensive and very interesting. Thank you so much for that.
I think we can sum up to say that the scope is huge. It depends on how you pick and choose, and how you go after opportunities. Go ahead.
Right, sir. Yeah.
I lost the connection for a moment here. So I'll shoot the questions here. So one question, uh, will AI and robotics take over construction in the future?
No, I can say that totally we can't say that it will take over, but certainly it will help. For example, we have seen already in COVID situations where we want to cut down a lot on a human dependence. We can reduce in wherever possible ways to cut down the human interference, but we cannot totally depend on this AI or maybe the other things. But certainly, yes, it will help, as we have seen that maybe on wherever there is very difficult in for example, we have seen the drone surveying also, where it was very difficult or it was time taking process to do the surveying if you want to do manually, but this will help you in cutting down the time and also maybe cutting down the risk also. So certainly it will help, but not a total takeover, we can say that, because construction is always, we need to see the person, and then it is always more or less like a human dependence is certainly there, but not as a total front, we can say.
In fact, you see, the nature of the activity is thus. So it can't completely take over. In fact, when we started activities on robotics and automation and all that, we were actually asking ourselves and doing soul searching to find out whether is it practical. And many different answers from different fields saying that only so much is possible, only so much is possible. But after all that, we have covered a lot of miles. And so maybe come a time we will go closer to the anticipation that the students of today have. Let's hope for the best.
Another question we have is, how can I get a job in L&T?
Sir, you can answer that.
Yeah, maybe Srikumar sir can answer that. How can I get a job in L&T?
Well, you do well in your academics, and plan a proper internship. I'm sure the opportunities are plenty, and if you are in a field like structural engineering, there is avenue for structural engineering. If you are in construction management, there is that also. If you are interested, see, many people have different mindsets. Some want to go to the field. Opportunities are plenty, and if your academics are good, and if you do well in the written exam and interview and all that, you can always walk into L&T.
And apart from whatever your academics, as we have seen that also, you should have other skills, because L&T, they will test your other skills, like maybe there may be a group discussion. So your communications and other things, you should be in a position to equip yourself. You should be very clear, and maybe how you are going to act as a team player. A lot of things will be tested, but academics, as Sari is saying that yes, academics is important. Do that also. Because domain expertise is required, but apart from this, other skill sets also required. Try to equip yourself. It will be useful, whether it's L&T or not. It will be always useful for you. Whether you want to go for maybe other companies or the overseas or anything, it will be helpful actually.
More than anything else, it's not academics alone. You have to equip yourself with soft skills also. Spoken language, presentations, right? So many avenues to empower yourself on both fronts.
Another question we have is, which one is good? Which one is good? Higher studies or direct job after BTech? That's a tricky question, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Another question we have is, which one is good? Higher studies or direct job after BTech?
I would put it, if the person concerned is research oriented, or or let us say design oriented, then it will be really good to do higher studies. But that is so far as the structural is concerned. But if you want to go to the field after empowering yourself further, you can do construction management. Well, if you want to take in a job straight away, your graduation is enough. Again, another avenue will be 2-3 years you work there. Something else that you learn will hit you at the field or in the construction management role that you are, or in the structural role that you are. It may take you to colleges once again. So there is no single right or wrong answer for that. It depends on the individual, his own experiences, his own aspirations, and likes and dislikes.
And one more thing is that it depends upon maybe situations, maybe his family situations and other things where you want to go for a job, please go for a job. Maybe our advice will be that if you are like Mr. Shikma sir told, if you are so much of design research oriented interested, go for the higher studies. And there are other avenues also. For example, say if you are getting an employment in L&T, even after some time there are programs where they are giving post graduations also. Build India scholarship programs they give that. So there are opportunities are there. Don't say that okay, if I join graduations, whether I can maybe I can't do my high studies. There are opportunities are there. We can do after that also. After gaining experience also, you can start doing this. It will be much more good also when you're having some experience, and if you want to continue with the high studies, then you can certainly apply your practical knowledge on your academic front also.
In fact, you see with 3D, with Dr. Ramushan, with 3D printing and all that coming in, and automation and robotics, and building information modeling, field is widening up further. So 5-6 years down the line, after these kids come out, there will be more opportunities.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Thank you, sir. One last question. How did China construct a 9-story hospital in 1 week? Like during the COVID scenario, they constructed a 9-story structure in 1 week. So that's the last question we have. How did they do that?
I have to admit that China has progressed far ahead of it.
Yeah.
There's no other this thing, you know. But
in terms of with a lot of precast components and all.
It is a lot of prefabricated.
It's not only civil engineering. I mean, you know, if we have to talk about it, we'll have to talk derogatory, which I don't want to do. But the fact remains that China is far ahead of most industries, not only in comparison to India, in comparison to Europe, in comparison to USA, whatever. See, today USA, okay, car manufacture is going on. But if they want a semiconductor, if they want a dynamo, if they want an AC compressor, they have to come back to China. So they have, in a planned way, they are far ahead. It's a fact of life.
All right. So
moreover, one more thing is that for the construction, as you are saying, that there are not only precast, maybe there are a lot of prefabricated structures. Structural steel was used with maybe the paneling and other things with the minimal the facilities. So that can be done. Even for example, say in India also, you go to Hyderabad. There are a lot of composite constructions. People, they are not doing for RC structure like a column and beams. They go with a structural steel which is easier for them to erect. Even maybe I can say in Bangalore, NetApps, there is one IT park where they used JSW, they did the construction, all structural steel with decking sheets and topping with the concrete. That's all. So it is very faster in construction actually. So there are so much of methods and materials available for make this construction. It's not only China, anybody can do that. Only thing is as maybe we need to plan all these things. Then certainly we can do that once you have this systems.
I don't know in a short form to say that the Indian mindset is such that there is a lot of lethargy to change. There is something new. Go after it and experiment. But we are not doing that. You know, we are saying, okay, let's trot the beaten path, the time-tested path. So that's one of the reasons why sustainability is getting bogged down. But you know, this is all now. The present generation that is coming in, they have it is their world further on. They have to go after it and find a way to do many different things properly. Eliminate the barriers along the way. Study it. Why are
nobody is ready to take risks? Nobody is ready to take risks now.
That's right. No. So the new generation has to take this. It is going to be their world further on.
Exactly. Yeah, very wise words, sir. Thank you so much for answering the queries from the questions. So I think with this we can wind up this session for today. So I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Srikanth sir and Srikumar sir for joining us today. I would also like to thank Dr. K.M. Mini, our chairperson and professor, for joining us today and giving a session on about our department and basics about civil engineering. It was a very knowledgeable and very interesting discussion and session today. So I hope we will meet again, and we invite both of you to more events which we will conduct in due course. We will host more events from the Department of Civil Engineering and the admissions teams. So I hope we can invite you again for further events. maybe hopefully in person when the situation gets better as well. So thank you, sir.
All
Thank
the
you so
best
much.
to the younger generation.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
If they have specific questions which remained unanswered on account of paucity of time, they can email it to you or professor and then take their answers.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
And
Thank you, sir.
you're welcome.
Thank you.